Hey guys, and welcome to the Journal 3 Decoding and Analyzing first episode. You can see here I have the official Journal 3 from Disney. I got it the day it was released on Tuesday. I had pre-ordered it, so it came on that day. We're just going to jump right into it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go through and decode every single page of this book. So let's just go right into it. You see here nothing in the first couple pages, but after that we jump right into the first entry. It's hard to believe that it's been 6 years since I began researching these strange and wondrous secrets of Gravity Falls, Oregon. Gravity Falls is indeed a geographical oddity. Not much to read up here. Floating eyeballs. I think it's really cool they have actually the it's an actual photo like taped into the book. Same thing with this one up here with the giant vampire bats. Cursed doors have multiple also. The gnomes, really nice looking page. A lot of scribbles on this one. Height altering crystals. Oh wait, I know what you guys are thinking. This isn't the real Journal 3, is it? And no, it's not. Obviously you guys know that, but it feels so amazing to have the real Journal 3 in my possession after making multiple different versions of this book for myself while watching the show and being obsessed with it. But as you can see here, this book looks so much better than anything that I could have created. I like this one most out of any of the versions that I had done because it's got like little pages sticking out, like he had notes in there and stuff like it did on the show. This one doesn't because it's an actual book. But we're gonna go ahead. You see there, look how nice and realistic that looks. It looks so great. But really we are going to analyze and decode every single page. Of course, this first few pages are blank. We're going to start off with the property of. Not much there. We know it belongs to Stanford Pines. Volume 3, and here you can see it says Ad Astra Per Aspera. We never knew what that said, but that actually means to the stars through difficulties in Latin. I recognized that it kind of looked like Latin. I didn't know what it meant, but through my year and a half or so of Latin in my high school years, I did recognize that it was Latin, and so I looked it up to see what it meant. And that it kind of means that you got to go through hard times to achieve your highest goals. And by the end of this journal, we should know what that means. We don't know a whole lot about Ford at this point, but we should know a lot more by the end of this journal. So we're going to jump right into it, and here's the actual first couple pages. The first entry says exactly the same thing as mine said because I actually knew what it said, and this is really cool. It has we can actually read all of the things he wrote down. I didn't know how that was going to work, if there were going to be only some pages that had that or what, but it looks like it's got an actual plot going with the grand unified theory of weirdness is what Ford was researching for and he was trying to figure out. On this page you can see there is a code right here. I'm not sure how to decode this yet, not sure if it's in the book or where I'm supposed to get that code from, but it's not the author's code from the show. So if you guys know how to decode it, let me know. I'm going to try and figure it out by myself, but you guys definitely know how to do that better than I do. So here we see the floating eyeballs page, and it's not an actual photo, it's obviously in the book. Same thing with the giant vampire bats, the gnomes. This one actually has a code up at the top as well. In red there, you can see that code. I'll try and decode that later once I figure it out. You see a nice tie into the leaf blowers. That's what Deborah wrote in the first episode of Gravity Falls. The cursed doors was an interesting thing, and I'll come back to this one eventually. But he kind of talks about how he doesn't know where it leads to. We never saw him in the show, but we did see the page in the first episode of the show, so it was cool to read about that. And I will do an episode on the cursed doors sometime soon. This page was cool. It's about Ford. You can see there he scribbled his face out so no one knew who he was. He kind of said that he struggled to find himself, and he thought it was funny that he made all these entries about things that were paranormal without talking about himself and how he had the 6 fingers on his hands. He called Gravity Falls his Bermuda Triangle. He kind of felt like he found a place where he fit in, which was, I thought that was really cool. A nice little story for Ford. You see there more codes on the top and the bottom of these pages. Again, I'll try and figure that out. Once I do find the code for that, I'll come back and I'll decode them for you. This one codes on the trees. He's talking about Bill Cipher. He doesn't know who this character is, but he has become friends with him. He met when he fell asleep in the forest, and he has helped him through his studies, which we did know from the show, but we didn't know his perspective when it was going on. And he said this is his biggest secret, and he needs to keep it to himself, and burn the page after his research is complete. These next few pages, I'll do a couple episodes probably on looking at these different things and saying what kind of it would have been cool to see in the actual show. The Invisible Wizard, this is a cool page. The reference in episode 11, Little Dipper, that Mabel made to the Invisible Wizard actually made it into the journal. Ford said that he saw it for a split second with night vision goggles on, and he kind of gives a description about it. I'll talk about that later. You see, this is the first full page that we've seen for one thing in a while. The Leprechaun, we saw this in the first episode of Season 2 Karaoke, and this one actually has a couple codes that I can decode by myself. Right here it says watch out, and this one says kill me please, in reference to up here it says their horns are musical and play constant loop of Danny Boy. It is very irritating. So then he wrote kill me please down at the bottom. I thought that was kind of funny. The stomach face duck, we also saw that in the show. We didn't see any of these things, but they're pretty funny little finds. They had the octopus with the beak made out of tentacles there. I didn't actually notice that the first time through. The woodpecker pecker. And then you see the bottomless pit. He had an actual drawing here, which clearly he didn't wait around long enough for his stuff to come back up, because we saw in episode 14 that the bottomless pit indeed isn't, it is a bottomless pit, but it does shoot you back up where you came from the top. The next page is a timeline kind of Gravity Falls. There are a lot of funny things they threw in here. The dinosaurs, they ruled 65 million years ago until they didn't. 30 million years ago, the original impact of that UFO that we saw in Season 2. This one talking about Bill Cipher and how native tribes had different art with him on it, and he just said with my muse on it, and his interactions with a human Modoc. And then there's a long code here, which I, of course, still can't decode. A nice reference to episode 9 when they went back in time to the Oregon Trail, 1860s high five supposedly invented by Oregon Trail settlers Grady and Fertilia. And Fertilia also set the record of 42 children. Quentin Chumbley, it also says, found the town after he wrote down Nathaniel Northwest. Dipper corrected it. UFO sighted. Greasy's Diner salvages crashed train parts for restaurant. He arrived in 1975, and he discovered his muse, obviously 6 years later when he's writing this book in 1981. And then it says the future. 2012, giant baby takes over the universe. What? And that was Mabel. She writes in pink in this book. Okay, so here's where we're actually gonna stop. There is a long letter that he found in a box with the word Pines on it, and that is all in a code. I'm not sure which code it's in yet. That guy actually kind of looks like Blended Nine in there. That's funny. But I'm going to decode that for the next episode. Do that, and I'll keep going in the. Not sure how far I'll go. There you see the undead page. Not sure how far I'm gonna go, but that will be the main thing for this upcoming episode. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you enjoyed it, you can leave a like. I like hearing from you guys. So if you're gonna do something on this video, I would like to read your comments. If you feel like it, just tell me what you want to see from this series, and if you liked it being live and me flipping through the pages live for you instead of having pictures of the pages and analyzing it like that. So I will see you guys in the next video.